Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And some sad news came out of the hockey world yesterday. Former New Jersey Devils general manager Ray Shero has passed away at the age of 62. Absolutely horrible story. Anytime you hear, of someone passing so young, it's just one of those things where gone too soon. My heart goes out to his family and friends. I don't know if he was sick or not. I don't know that the cause has been kind of divulged to the public or whatever, but terrible story. Horrible to hear. And I wanted to record this yesterday, but I got tied up with a bunch of other stuff, and so now I'm just putting it out now. Better late than never. But I thought, his time here, there was some significant progress made, in my opinion, and I think he is worthy of kind of reflecting on his impact on the New Jersey Devils. And so, starting off at the top, Ray Shero was the fourth general manager in New Jersey Devils history, following up the long-tenured Lou Lamoriello, who had a nearly 28-year run with the Devils, which obviously saw tons of success with, division championships, conference championships, and obviously 3 Stanley Cups in 1995, 2000, and 2003. Lou is without a doubt the architect of the New Jersey Devils as we know it today. Obviously, we're kind of a ways away from those dynasty years, but what a run it was for Lou. 28 years as GM of the Devils. He moved on, and Ray Shero takes the seat on May 4th, 2015, becoming the 4th GM in Devils history, and he was here until January 12th of 2020. So, a few months shy of 5 years, and the impact that he made while he was here will be felt for years to come. He is the general manager that drafted 3 of the big 4 in nicohischier, jesperbratt, and jackhughes. Now, the jackhughes and Nico picks, a lot of people will be like, those were no-brainers. And to some extent, they kind of were. They were generally the consensus number 1 overall picks in their respective draft years. But there was some chatter from some people who made the argument for Capo Caco over jackhughes. They were in the minority, but there were some of those people. And there was also some people kind of making the pitch for Nolan Patrick, who the Flyers ended up with in Nico's draft year. And so, you got to give him credit for it, even if it was the consensus pick and kind of the obvious one, if you want to call it that. He made the right pick, and those are 2 of our franchise players currently, still to this day, and hopefully for years to come. Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, 2 of the biggest components of the New Jersey Devils as you know them today. And furthermore, Jesperbratt. Jesperbratt was picked in the 6th round, 162nd overall. Let's talk about a late draft find. Wow. That is arguably the best pick in Devils history. I don't think there's a better one in terms of value. Getting a guy like that, a point-per-game player for the past 4 seasons. This year just broke Scott Stevens' 32-year-old assist record. I mean, what a phenomenal talent. And to find a guy like that in the 6th round, that would probably be his shiftiest or niftiest move, I would say. That was some Shero magic, whether, him, his staff, the scouts, whoever it was. But as a team, that is easily the Devils' best draft find in the history of the franchise. And then obviously our captain, Jack Hughes, the prolific scorer. Just overall, 3 of the top 4 guys that are here are because of Ray Shero. And Tom Fitzgerald did inherit quite the foundation to, build upon going into the future. Now, people's opinions are going to be all over the place as to how the current construction, if you will, is going. But those are 3 massive pillars of an organization. Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, Jesperbratt. Phenomenal drafting with those 3 picks. And then you look at some of the trades. He made a bunch of trades, while he was here during that time. I'm going to talk about some of my favorites. I was a big Kyle Palmieri guy, so I was pumped when we got Palmieri in the summer of 2015. We traded a 2nd and 3rd rounder to Anaheim for Kyle Palmieri. Loved Palms. A lot of people wanted to see a reunion potentially this year. It wasn't in the cards, and it's looking like he's going to re-sign in Long Island with the Islanders. But I was a big fan of Palmieri. He gave us some very serviceable years while he was here. And then obviously, this is, to me, what will be probably I don't know what you want to call it. I would call it the signature Shero deal of his whole time here. And you all know it's 1 for 1. The New Jersey Devils obtaining Taylor Hall from the Edmonton Oilers for Adam Larson. Now, listen, I know a lot of people are sour with the way it all played out with Taylor Hall at the end and how he left and blah, blah, blah. But in the end, To me, the signature Ray Shero moment with the Devils has to be getting Taylor Hall for Adam Larson. The hockey world was shocked when the trade was announced that it was just Adam Larson, and the tweet will live in infamy. Here it is. From NHL insider Bob McKenzie, trade is 1-for-1, Adam Larson for Taylor Hall. Wow, I was jacked. I was super pumped when this got announced. I thought Taylor Hall was a very good player, and obviously he was. And to get a guy like that, still fairly young, was unbelievable. And the fact that we only traded Adam Larson, listen, I didn't dislike Larson, but I think a lot of people had much higher expectations of him given where he was drafted, a super high first rounder. And to get Taylor Hall for him was crazy. I mean, wow. Taylor Hall's first season with the Devils wasn't spectacular. It was decent, but in 16-17, in 72 games played, he had 20 goals, 33 assists for 53 points. Not shabby by any stretch, but where the Taylor Hall effect came out to play, the 17-18 season, oh, you know it well, my friends, the rookie season of both nicohischier and jesperbratt. In that 17-18 season, in 76 games played, Taylor Hall had 39 goals and 54 assists for 93 points. Unbelievable season, and as you all remember, or maybe you don't, Taylor Hall single-handedly dragged that 2017-18 Devils team to the playoffs. No question about it. Without Taylor Hall, that team does not even sniff the playoffs. He single-handedly dragged them there, and unfortunately for their efforts, they were pounded by the Tampa Bay Lightning in round one in 5 games. But as I always say, playoffs are bust. It is much better to make the playoffs than to not. And that was the first taste of the postseason for obviously nicohischier and jesperbratt in the rookie seasons. And it took a Herculean regular season from Taylor Hall, who went on to win the Hart Trophy as most valuable player of the entire league for his efforts. Taylor Hall, 2017-18, will forever go down as one of the finest seasons in New Jersey Devils history. Regardless of how he left and how people feel about him, that was a ridiculous season. Every time he was on the ice, you felt like he was going to make something happen. He was scoring goals all sorts of ways. To put into context how good of a season that was for Taylor Hall, he led the Devils with 93 points. The second highest point scorer on the Devils was Nico Hischier with 52. So you're talking about a disparity of 41 points from your top scorer, Taylor Hall, to your number 2 guy, Nico Hischier. I mean, wow. That playoff appearance was brought to you solely by Taylor Hall, and without Ray Shero pulling the trigger on that deal, that playoff appearance does not happen. And so I do think, while it didn't end great, the Taylor Hall era was fairly exciting. And again, we made the playoffs with a team that would have never made it without Taylor Hall. And so we will forever owe Ray Shero a debt of gratitude for that Taylor Hall acquisition. One of the more exciting ones in my time as a fan since 1994. It's definitely up there. And we got to the playoffs with him. It's unfortunate the Devils couldn't do anything. The other monumental deal that Shero pulled off while general manager of the Devils was signing Nico Hischier in 2019 to a 7-year extension for $50.75 million, which comes out to a cap hit of $7.25 million a season. What an unbelievable value he locked up Nico at long-term, and we've been the beneficiary of it for the past couple seasons, as well as 2 seasons from now. He's signed for 2 more years, and what a beautiful deal that Shero struck. That is an unbelievable bargain for a player of Nico Hischier's caliber. We can't forget, that is a massive signing, and hopefully Nico signs another big one with the Devils to keep him here for the duration of his career. But, there's a couple other trades. I'll put a link so you can see his whole list of trades that he made while he was here. I did enjoy Pat Maroon when he brought him in 2018. I was always a fan of Patty Maroon. Hell of a career for Pat Maroon. He's actually retiring at the end of this season. Wish him well. I hope to see him do some sort of media or podcast or something like that. He's a wildly entertaining guy. Even though he turned out not to be an impact player for the Devils, I was super jacked when Shero traded for PK Subban. I mean, I always loved watching PK when he was on the Canadiens and then with the Predators afterwards. I was super jacked to have PK on the Devils for his tenure here, and he's still one of the biggest Devils fans in the media to this day. Shout out to PK Subban. What a legend. Love him on the broadcast, obviously, and a lot of you that watch me know that I regularly pay tribute to PK and his beautiful lineup read at the Stadium Series with the sound clips that I will be using forever, courtesy of PK Subban. But that was exciting, even though that didn't pan out too well. Not a ton of other monumental moves in those years when Shero was here. The one move I didn't like the most from him was when he traded Henrique away. I mean, I understood why he did it at the time. Henrique went to Anaheim in the Sammy Vatanen deal. That was the one that I was like, at the time, I wasn't a huge fan of it. And looking back, it would have been nice for Rico to be a longtime New Jersey Devil and retire a Devil. But it is what it is. Sometimes you got to make tough decisions in this business. But in the end, the Ray Shero era of the New Jersey Devils is lingering still today. His fingerprints will be all over this team and other teams around the league as well, with guys that he has drafted over the years for different organizations. But the New Jersey Devils, 3 of the big 4, we owe to Ray Shero, and hopefully those boys could do him justice and win a cup. Jesperbratt, nicohischier, Jackhughes, would love to see that trio, plus, whoever else is here. Obviously, Timo Meyer's the other one in the big 4. But Ray Shero, guys, he set the foundation for Fitzgerald. Hopefully, Fitzy can figure out a way to build on it properly and get us back to a Stanley Cup championship. And that's it. Gone too soon, Ray Shero. Just terrible news. But I thought I had to come on here and just kind of reflect on his career and give credit where it's due for what he's done for this organization and the players that are still in place today. But that's it. I'll be back soon. Tons of stuff in the works. Our New Jersey Devils clinched a playoff spot. Lots of questions heading into the final 4 games. We're going to Raleigh, guys. New Jersey Devils going to Raleigh to take on the Canes in the playoffs. I am super jacked. I'll have tons of stuff coming out, leading up to the playoffs, throughout the playoffs. You already know. So I'll be back soon. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.